Hi there, Smart Drivers. Rick with Smart Drive Test talking to you tonight about, yes, getting a job. How to find the 75% of jobs that are not advertised. Stick around. We'll be right back with that information. Goose, my friend, job just overbroke. Yeah, that's unfortunately for a lot of people who are locked down with COVID and those types of things, that's probably true. All right, so getting going here on the presentation, getting a job, you need work, and it's not just for truck drivers that I'm talking about. I'm talking about everybody that needs to get a job. And in 2015, I started the YouTube channel and the online business, and it's been wildly more successful than I ever could have imagined. It's definitely one of those things where dreams happen for sure. For a new video this week, driving with a disability. On a recent trip here during March break, went to Calgary and I caught up with Nelson Chateauneuf. He is the owner of South Trail Driving School in Calgary, and Nelson has a vehicle that is fitted with hand controls for people with disabilities. He also has left gas pedal in the vehicle, which is very weird. I've never had one of those before. That's a little bit interesting to get used to. What kind of bus driver do you want to be? Do you want to drive tour coaches? Do you want to drive transit buses? Do you want to drive for Greyhound and those types of things? So be very specific about the kind of job that you want. Okay, you give your little spiel. They say at the end, do you have any positions available? Do you have anything coming up? And they say to you, no, we don't have anything. Okay, don't say thank you very much and hang up the phone. That's not going to work for you. You need to understand that the people that you're talking to in these positions are also going to know anybody else who might be able to hire you. So listen, you say to them, do you know anybody else who might be hiring? They'll give you a couple of references, and then you say, listen, can I phone you back in 4 to 5 weeks? And most of the time they're going to say yes, and you say thank you very much. And you hang up and you take down those references and you make sure you call these other people, whoever, and you make sure you follow up. As Goose said, it's persistence. You get a job in the T's, right? And called them up. And the other thing that you do when you're looking for a job is when you call them up and you say blah, 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 you say, listen, can I drop my resume off? And they'll say, yes, you can. And okay, so who am I going to drop my resume off? And, it was Tom Smith. He was the operations manager, so I get dressed up. I go down to the London Transit Authority. He's in a meeting, and so I said to the receptionist behind the counter, I said, listen, can I wait? I waited 2.5 hours for Mr. Smith to come out to give him my resume. Had the little 2-minute, kind of mini interview. Talked to him, said, this is what I'm doing, this is who I am, and they called me up the next day and said, listen, we've got some work we would like you to do. It was the time in the late 1980s when the low-floor buses were coming in for people with disabilities, people in wheelchairs and those types of things, and they wanted me to create a curriculum for them that would teach their drivers how to put the restraining devices on people with wheelchairs on public transit and how to teach drivers to deal with people with disabilities. So that's what I did in the late 1990s, and I got an 8-week contract out of that. And you have to be motivated, and as Goose said, you got to start at A and you got to work through, and you may not get a job until you get to the T's. Same thing with me, right? I started on the East Coast and started working west. How are you going to do it? I mean, if you really want a job, whatever you need to do, you have to go back to school, you have to put in the time, you have to do the training, and then you have to get the job. And how do you get the job? Because it's really tough, right? And a lot of, there's jokes about people who have degrees in philosophy or degrees in the arts and those types of things, and then they can't get a job when they graduate from school. So you have to follow up. You have to make a lot of calls. You have to put in resumes. Resumes have to be tailored for the company that you're going to be applying for and those types of things, because it's tough and it's a lot of work, and it can be, because I've done this and I've got into, been unemployed for 6 months and looking for work and applying for a job, and it's a bummer. And it's after 6 months, it's really tough to keep going and really find that energy to keep yourself going. So you got to have that support network around you, and you got to have that ability to have that mental health.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Have a great night. All the best. We'll talk to you soon.